with the T.
Yeah. What's up, everybody? So we have a special guest tonight. Brian, you wanna elaborate what's going on here?
Yeah, we have. I mean, it's the biggest thing right now going on in the Bigfoot world, at least in our neck of the woods. Is I know everybody's all abuzz about it on Facebook and all those
Mhm.
social media platforms, talking about State Representative Justin Humphreys and his legislation that he's trying to push forward to create a Bigfoot season. And I know, Shane, you probably got tons of messages from friends and family about it. I got tons of them. People asking me what's going on in Oklahoma and
Yeah.
all the. I've heard
Is
the
it
goods
is
and
it
the bads.
real? Is it true?
Exactly, exactly. So I reached out to Justin Humphrey yesterday and asked if he'd be willing to come on the show and kind of take some questions from folks and uh, let him kind of explain himself a little bit better and kind of give a clear picture of what his goal is. I think it's going to probably surprise some people as
Yeah.
far as what his real intention is with this. So yeah, if we want to go ahead and bring him
Yeah.
in, that'd be great.
There he
Hello.
is.
Hey, Justin, how are you?
I'm doing awesome, doing good.
Right.
Down
Hey.
building in Lane, Oklahoma, so just really well.
Drove through there many a times on my way to Broken Bow.
Well, hey, next time y'all come through, I've got a little old building right there on the south side of the highway. Holler at me, and we'll stop and have a cup of coffee or something.
Hey, I tell you what we'll do next
Oh,
time.
man.
I'll be down there. I think not Thanksgiving, Valentine's Day weekend. If I
Yeah.
remember, Justin, I'll load up my Bigfoot cast that I have, and I'll holler
Right.
at you on my way down, and you can take a look.
Oh.
So it's some footprints that we cast.
You better be careful. I've got a building, and I've got a lot of stuff in it, and I may be trying to take that cast away from you and put
Well,
it in the building.
hey, everything is for sale, sir. Everything is for sale.
Oh, that's Brian's motto right there.
Yeah, everything's got a price, but
Man after my own heart.
I do want to thank you though. I know you're a busy guy, and I know you're getting bombarded with all kinds of media stuff. So I just want to thank you for
Yeah.
taking the time for a couple of little guys like us, and
Oh, no problem. No problem.
and I think we're pretty plugged into the community, and it directly affects a lot of our members in the community, and a lot of people just they're getting bits and pieces from it. So I thought, man, if we could just have him on, I think he can kind of say what his true intentions are, and then it'll just clear some things up for a lot of people. So
Yeah, in this community, you want to bring in them hard facts. Trust me.
Yes, there you go. Well, you guys seem like y'all are good guys, and I've enjoyed visiting with you, getting ready to come on. And so, yeah, absolutely. We want to answer any questions we can and put people's minds at rest. Believers and non-believers alike. We want to let them understand this is not an intent to make legislation look bad. This is intent for to bring people to our area, to spotlight our area, to get people aware of. There is an area where there's more reported Bigfoot sightings, or at least there's a lot of people have reported that. It's a very remote area, and it's a very beautiful area. And so, again, we have a festival. It's caught on. It's a pretty big festival. We want to see it. The COVID thing has kind of, we didn't have that. And I would love to see it keep going. It's a big thing for our area. And I think that, all over, I will tell you, this thing has impacted all over the United States. I've gotten calls from New York. I was called from a guy in Michigan, and he said it was on in Chicago and Michigan. So this is pretty big deal. Pretty big deal.
definitely. So for people that are unfamiliar with our state, like Shane's in Dallas area, just to kind of give them a rough idea, you're District 19, which basically is the Red River from Durant over to Broken Bow, Idabel, right? And then up north, just north of Honubby, parts of LaFleur County.
Yeah, when we're talking about Honubby, it's not a really big metropolis. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. No. It's a one horse town for sure. So
So I split Honubby right in the middle. So if you're on one side if you're in the middle of Honubby and you step over west and you're in District 19, if you step east, you're in, I think that's District 1. So,
okay.
So pretty much McCurtain County is, if you just go McCurtain and LaFleur County, That's the line for District 19. Pretty large area, Clayton, Honubby, all that area back in there. So,
okay,
beautiful country.
Definitely. So, let's see. We have any questions yet? Somebody says they want the bear that's behind you. So, a lot of black bear in southeast Oklahoma.
Yeah, that's a little one right there. Yeah.
Brian actually casted a track out there when we were out, a bear track.
Yeah, just south of Smithville. Yeah,
Mhm.
right outside our tents. There was a bear track. I got up the next morning and we cast it. So,
I've had a lot of people asking me whether I believe in Bigfoot, and I'm kind of one of those people. I want to see him, but I've told them. Actually, a friend of mine killed this bear, and we've got a lot of bear on video. We've got a place up at Daisy, Oklahoma, which I don't know if anybody knows where it's at, but anyways, it's a pretty remote area. And so got a little land up there and in the mountains, and, got bear on video. I mean, lots of bear on video, but personally, I've never seen a bear in Oklahoma out in the woods. And I'm in the woods a lot. I ranch and we're around there and, feeding cattle and looking for cattle and, go around there doing a lot of checking. And so we're in the mountains and in the woods a bunch, and those bear have been in there for a while, and you know what, you never see them. So a lot of people talk about, well, you ain't never seen Bigfoot, you never seen sign. I've never seen bear. So again, but I'm gonna wait until I see him, to become a true believer.
Yeah, and nothing wrong with that. You know what I mean? So obviously you're open to the idea that he could possibly exist, or you wouldn't be pushing this through, right? So
here's the deal. I tell you what, I've talked to a lot of people who are sound people. You know what I'm saying? I mean, they're sound people, and they are 100%, 1000% convinced that they've had an experience with Bigfoot. And I sure will not tell them that they didn't have the experience that they think that they had. And so, I'm one of these guys, would like to see some evidence, would like to see hardcore evidence. I've been in law enforcement 30 years. So, but here's the deal. In law enforcement, you go to investigate. You don't make up your mind before you get there. You just let the facts take you to wherever you go. And so right now, there's not enough evidence out there to convince me that he does exist. But I think there's a lot of people open to that. And I'm very open to if those people would like to come in and have an experience, come to southeastern Oklahoma, where there has been multiple sightings and people have reported that, and they want to come in there and they want to look for that evidence and they want to participate in what I'm trying to do. Man, would love to have you. Love to have you come to our part of the country. I think if you come, you'll want to come back. And that's what I'm betting on, is that the experience, the adventure, the fun, the camaraderie you'll have coming, I think will bring people back to that part of the country. And again, as we talked about a little bit earlier, I've been on many hunts that we didn't get anything, but had a blast and have memories. And so always have a good time when we get out there.
Yeah,
I'm one of the first to go.
Yeah, I agree with you. People tease me all the time about, well, what if you never find this thing? What if you never find this thing? You spend all this time, all this money hunting for this thing, you never find it. What if you never find it? And I tell people, just the friends that I have made in this process, I mean, maybe I already found what I was really looking for, And,
there you go.
Like with Shane here, I would have never met Shane. He's in Dallas. I live in Mustang, Oklahoma. I would have never met him had it not been for Bigfoot. And now I can't live without this guy. It's like he's my long lost twin. Like we got separated at birth somehow.
It is kind of weird how we have so much in common as we talk about our pasts and stuff. It's
right. Yeah. And that's what it's all about. I can tell you some of the best memories I've ever had have been around campfires. Sitting out there in the woods. It's just an experience. If you've never been out there at night in the mountains with the stars out, a good campfire rolling, you've missed it. And everybody ought to get to have that experience. And as we've said, man, there's things you get out there in the dark, out there in the mountains. It'll make your blood boil sometimes. It'll get you get your heart pumping. you hear anything go, there's some sounds, cats or whatever, hoot owl goes off, boy, I mean, it'll get you going. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun, and it's an experience that we're looking to give people. And if you find a Bigfoot, then awesome. You know what I'm saying? If we find evidence, if we find a Bigfoot, then so much the good. But I do want to make sure that everybody knows, especially in this community that y'all are talking to, because I know that I'm talking to people who are more believers in Bigfoot, and I respect that. And so as we're talking to your community, I want everybody to know the language we're going to put in this bill is not to harm Bigfoot. It is to do a live capture on Bigfoot. We're trying to do a $25,000 bounty. If you capture the first Bigfoot captured, we'd give a $25,000 bounty. And so our goal is to get people out in the woods, get people looking, but not to harm anybody, not to be out there shooting anybody, not to harm themselves or to harm Bigfoot or to harm the environment. We're definitely, hey, we want to maintain the beauty of our area down there. So all of this is about to draw people in to come in and experience the beauty of it, and to experience the getting outdoors and experience the hunt, the fun of what we're talking about. Experience all of that in a trip to southeastern Oklahoma.
Hey, Justin, we have a video that we did for our group, right? And at the end, we have a drone shot, and I'm going to show it to you here in a second. And it zooms out away. It goes out way past away from us, so we're shrinking, and it really gives you how vast all that is out there.
Hey, the land we've got. Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah, that's
right
awesome.
there.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yes.
Yeah, that's just south of Smithville, to the east of 259. So.
Yeah. That's that District 1 country. You need to fly on a little north of there is what you need to do.
we can do. Oh, I got you.
But hey, you know what? And especially your community that you're speaking to out here, I think will appreciate this. I don't know if they have problems finding places to hunt. A lot of times that's going to be a problem. Some of that's getting on a little public land. You might could get on there, but I think this is going to open up the opportunity. I've already got people calling me saying, hey, I want to do guided tours. I want to provide an opportunity for people to come. I've got people talking about doing lake tours, like they could load up people on a pontoon boat and go around night, and do the shore lake thing. And I've talked to people who want to, like I say, take people in during the day, during the night, and do, like a 6-man guided tour, something like that. So I think this is going to open up opportunities, and maybe will also be an eye opener for some landowners that may be open to deer leasing and that kind of thing. May be open to instead of you having to lease, $5 an acre for all year, which may be something you guys would be interested in,
Yeah, definitely.
But I think it'll be, I think people would be open, but you could even talk to them about doing a one-night hunt or doing a 2-day or a weekend hunt. I think this, when all the initial people mad about it and upset and thinking it's stupid and crazy, when all that wears off, I think that it's going to be a good deal for everybody, because I think it will possibly open those doors to let people have access. We've got some land there at Daisy, and I sure would be open to a discussion on something like that.
Okay.
We have a question.
Yeah, go ahead, Shane.
So Jake Smith's asking, realistically, what do you expect the percentages are that a Bigfoot could actually be captured safely? So, okay, I've noticed when you drive to through Broken Bow, Hochtown, you've got like these Jeep rental places, with a Bigfoot sign out there. Are those? Is that side of the road also going to start carrying like big cages you can drag into the that you can hitch and take into?
I guarantee you, if there's a market for it, somebody will make it. And
Absolutely. whatever the market will bear, that's what they'll put out there.
Yeah.
You know, I don't really know, you know, how that would work. Personally, if it was me, I'd be just as happy to get a good, clear picture. You know what I'm saying? If people wanted camera, now if they want to try to jump on Bigfoot and see if they can wrestle him down, I wouldn't recommend it personally. But you know, back in a younger day, you know, I'd probably tried it. You know. But today I'd probably go, now let me just snap a picture on my camera on that thing. But you know, I mean, here's where I'm at. If you're, you know, living in city and you haven't gotten out there and you want to participate in that and you want to build a cage or you want to spend your money, you know what? A lot of people would say, oh, you're crazy and what are you doing? But again, man, the memories that you're making, the fun that you're having, and what's the difference between that and if you put, you know, 25,000 into a 4-wheel drive vehicle and drive it up the side of a hill? You know, if that's what you like to do, then, you know, there's nothing wrong with that. And if you want to try to prove something that exists, that you think exists, then I think, you know, I think all the better for you. You know, I personally, now, I will tell you, if we get this passed, I'm going to be one of the first ones out there doing one of the hunts, and we're going to have a good time. I've already called. I've got Channel 9 News probably going to come with me. I've done challenged one of those reporters. Well, now, if I get this passed, I know it's a long shot, but if I get it passed, I'm going to expect you to go. I've done called a couple of county commissioners from the area, and we're going to make sure that we – and again, we're going to have a good time. That's what it's all about, is that you have a good time and that we promote our area and that we promote the outdoors. And again, I'm promoting, if you believe in Bigfoot, this is a place you come down here and you know, have fun, enjoy yourself, and experience what we got to offer.
Yeah, I mean, Bigfoot is such a hot thing right now. So to me, it seems like an idea that you're going with there is to get a bunch of people in the woods that may not normally go in the woods. You know, there's a lot of people that don't want to hunt deer. They don't want to hunt rabbit or turkey or anything like that. There's even people that don't like to fish. I don't know any of these people, but there are people that don't like to do those types of things. So I see where you're going. There's a lot of people that are at home. They're watching all these Bigfoot shows on TV. They're watching these movies. They're excited about it. And now you're coming up to them saying, here's you a chance to get out in the woods. So I see where you're going with generating that tourism, like Hochatown, for instance. I mean, that's like a Bigfoot capital. You know, there's so much stuff there that's Bigfoot themed, and it's a family fun town. And I think a lot of people don't realize how much there is to do there. I mean, you have a nature center there. You have the lake itself is beautiful. I mean, there's go-karts, there's restaurants, there's wineries. There's just so much stuff to do. All the cabins that you can rent there. I mean, you could take your family, your wife, your kids, everything, go there and just have a great time. Even if, say, a guy like myself, I could take my woman, my kids there. If I wanted to sneak off with my Bigfoot permit and go look for Bigfoot while they stayed back at the cabin, of course, my woman would be out there with me because, ironically enough, she's from Hochatown, Broken Bow, and lives here in Mustang with me now. But so she'd be in the woods with me. But for a lot of people, their wives will have something to do in that town. There's plenty of shopping to do in Hochatown. Like I said, I mean, I see where you're going with the tourism thing, and Bigfoot is hot. Pat Turner is a good friend of ours. He's got a question, though, about instead of legislation of a bounty, how about just legislation to recognize the species?
And again, Pat, I respect your question. Here's where I'm at with that. My goal wasn't so much as to recognize whether Bigfoot is real or not real. My goal is to get people to come to Oklahoma, southeastern Oklahoma, particularly, especially District 19. That's the area I represent. So my goal is to get you out in the woods. It's sure not to endanger Bigfoot, sure not to risk people's lives. That's why we're getting on. That's why I'm going on all the medias and saying, hey, listen, we're not trying to kill Bigfoot. We don't want you out there, trying to harm anybody. But again, we've got people going out in the woods deer season, every one of them carrying a gun. And under the logic that you're using, we shouldn't go out there. You know, we wouldn't be able to go deer hunting. We wouldn't be able to go turkey hunting. So again, I'm going to expect people to act responsible. That's what being in the woods is all about. But again, I'm not even pushing carrying a gun. I'm pushing that if you want to try to trap him, which you're going to have to get, pretty clever on what you'd want to do.
I mean, who do you call the guys from Mountain Monsters? Because those guys can make some traps.
Them suckers ain't never caught nothing. You know what I'm saying? I ain't seen one episode. I think they caught the chupacabra one time, but then Bigfoot let him back out. You know what I'm saying? So I've watched a lot of shit. You can tell I'm a fan. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely. So Jake Smith has mentioned again about considering side would be probably more dangerous than to try in the first. Okay, so he's talking about trying to tranquilize a Bigfoot.
And then pissing it off, and then I guess.
Which, that's a thing we wouldn't know. I mean, you would have to guesstimate the weight of the animal, just like they do with anything else that they tranquilize, whether it's tigers or anything. So
I tranquilize cattle. I mean, we got an old calf we can't catch out, and we'll almost every year we'll have 2 or 3 that just won't come in, and you have to go out and try to tranquilize. And most time that's not too difficult. You can generally gauge what something weighs, pretty close in the proximity, especially with cattle and stuff. But there are some dangers using that. I mean, you can give them too much. You can knock one out. They can get cut off with their air, some things like that. So you can, I don't know about a Bigfoot, but I can tell you about on cattle, you could end up losing one. So you want to make sure that you keep them up and move them, to where that they can breathe and things like that. And generally, we don't knock them all the way out. We get them, just kind of loopy, and then you can load them, because if you knock them out, you got to drag them on trailer. So you want them kind of still standing, where you can get them on trailer. But we get them a little loopy, and then we get them in the trailer. So used a little bit of that. I don't know that I'd shoot Bigfoot with a dart. I would, again, for me, I would want to try to collect the evidence to show that. But if there are some people out there that want to try to do an elaborate trap like we're talking about, or come up with a way to catch Bigfoot, I'm open. Again, I know some of your viewers are going to disagree with me, and I'm okay with that. I mean, I'm okay with you disagreeing with me, but please understand what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get people to come and enjoy our area. I'm trying to promote tourism, and I'm trying to promote that if you would like to come in, and again, this is like we're saying, you drive down through Ho Chi Town, and there are all kinds of Bigfoot stuff, and their publicity is on Bigfoot. They're pushing that. That's their tourist package. And what I'm saying is if you go over to Honubby, that's the area where everybody is saying that is more likely to see a Bigfoot. And you can come on over, and there's Stardust Lake in our area. We got McGee Creek Lake in our area. Again, if you want to look at like our property there along the Indian Nation Turnpike at Daisy, if you were to go past it, hey, you probably go 40 miles there without running into anything. I mean, you're talking about some country. You're talking about some, and it's pretty. I mean, it's some of the best looking country and you'll ever get to see. So again, if there's a Bigfoot out there, that'd be a really good place for him to be at. And so, I just think it'd be a neat ideal. And I think, this is just to me, I've caught a lot of static. I mean, I have caught a lot of static.
Oh, I can imagine.
And, but that's okay. Hey, I'm doing what I believe will help our area and will bring people and tourism to our area. And again, my goal is that people will get to enjoy that area. And if it, I would think any of your viewers, I don't know how many of them have got to get out and actually look for a Bigfoot, not watch it on TV, not talk about it, read about it. I'm talking get off the couch, load up, get out there in the woods, campfire, get up there in the mountains with the stars out and the hoot owls hooting, and I'm gonna tell you something. If you ever do it, you won't forget it. You will enjoy it, and you'll be back. I almost get it.
I agree with you.
Those woods are always calling my name. I will say that ever since I've been. So, yeah.
Steve Ashley is a member of ours, and Steve actually lives in Arkansas. He's asking, if this passes, does this mean that the government believes Bigfoot exists? And if so, do you have conservation for Bigfoot? And could it potentially end up on an endangered species list?
You know, the endangered species list is one of the things that have really come up on this. And I think that's a very good question. And I think it's something that we'll probably have to address during the legislation. The deal is, Steve, that was Steve, right? That we're talking.
Yeah.
Steve, you know, you can't put something on the endangered list unless you can prove it's actually there. So that would be my answer to that. Or am I going to say if we pass this that we're all believers? Not necessarily, Steve. I'm going to tell you that before I'm going to believe, I'm going to have to see some pretty hardcore evidence that Bigfoot's there. But what I'm very open to looking for that. I'm very open to say, hey, if you can get out here and you can get it. And I very much respect those people who, again, I can tell you people who I respect. I respect them. I mean, I know them. These are not people that are seeing flying saucers every week or anything like this. These are solid citizens, and they will tell you they've had an experience with Bigfoot. Now, again, you know, did they actually have that experience? I'm not going to tell them they didn't, but I want to see. So I want to see a photo that's not blurry. I want to see a photo that you can actually see. I want to know that it wasn't I've got a friend who dressed up like Bigfoot and started to started a big deal. And, you know, I want to know that it's not him. I want to know it's not somebody in a suit. I want to know it's not a prank. I want DNA evidence. I want, you know, those kind of hardcore facts that we can say, okay, this thing really exists or it doesn't exist. And again, I don't think we'll ever, if it doesn't exist, I don't think we'll ever prove it. And you know what? If everybody gets out in the woods and looks for it, and that is their pleasure, then what's wrong with that? Is the way
I agree. And also, real quick, those friends of yours that have seen it, have them call me. So, have them give me a call.
Well, I'm trying to think. One guy's name's Charlie that I talked to the other day, and I just met him. But now he's written, and in fact, I've not got to read it. I've got to go pull it. But he was showing me the magazine that his story was in, and you talk about adamant that he's adamant, you know, and pretty convincing. I will tell you, and not a person that comes across as flighty or anything. He's pretty solid citizen, seems like. But again, I've got guys that I've known for a long time that really believe they have seen something, you know. And I'm not going to say they didn't see something. You know?
Hey, Brian, later on after this show, you should send him the old well audio that was recorded out there.
Yeah, I'll send that to you. I have what I believe is a Bigfoot, or actually two.
Justin, it's outstanding.
And it's in the Smithville.
What was that, 2 years ago? Two Novembers ago? And I still listen to this thing at least once a week.
Yeah, November 2018. So
yeah.
I have a guy, and I don't know who it is. It just says Facebook user. It says, why would anyone lease when federal land is free? Or will admission to that be in the works too? For me, yeah, federal land is great. State land is great. It's a great place to start. But if you got a hot spot of sightings and you can get into an area that is private and you're able to lease that, you eliminate you eliminate a lot of the things that could be human, you know? So I definitely would be interested in leasing land, because then I know it's just me there and not someone messing with me, as opposed to state land or federal land where everyone can go, everyone can make a fake, you know, footprint, or they could be half a mile away from you, hooting and hollering, and, you know, mislead you. So that's why a lot, and I'm not sure who that user is, but that's why a lot of people would be interested in leasing land. So
absolutely. First time I went to Colorado deer hunting, and we went on public land, and I'm glad that we You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't have been able. I could probably lease some land up there or whatever, but lots of public land. I've enjoyed hunting public land, but the first time I went up there, I was used to hunting our land by ourselves, and I got up there on top of this mountain in a clear cut, and I'm thinking, man, I'm the only person there in all these mountains, and I know more than it turned daylight, and I looked down the mountain down there, and guess what? There's 2 or 3 Jeep drives up, and this one drives up, and I was like, well, son, golly, I drive a several thousand mile or 1,000-something mile out here to get out in the woods, and here's 3 people on top of me. Again, I'm glad we have public land. It's there for the public and to let people who can't afford that. But if you can afford, to lease something, and that's what I'm saying, is maybe people would be open to leasing for a weekend, a day, a week, where you wouldn't have to pay several $1,000s. You might get to pay a couple $100, and that might be worth it to you. But if not, absolutely, I want to see you go on public. I have no problem with whatever fits your budget, whatever fits your schedule, and whatever you enjoy. That's what you ought to be able to do, and that's what I also want to give a shout out to Andy Rhodes a while ago. He's a good friend of mine. So
yeah, he told me you guys. I guess you guys have known each other for a while.
Yeah, Andy's a good guy.
Yeah. Let's see. Go ahead, Shane.
Oh, so Jake Smith, he's coming with another great question. So if Bigfoot is captured, what do you think the effects will be with it being absolutely proven the public as also the world?
It would be phenomenal. I
mean,
it would be awesome. It would, I'm looking to put us on the map. If we got that done, it would put it there,
Here's one thing I think would change is, and it's only because, driving through Broken Bow and Ho Chi Town, going to where we go, is seeing all these logging trucks coming back. That might be cut in half or something.
It would definitely, if they knew that there was a habitat there and that was actually there, it would be astronomical. It would definitely be a ground shaker. Again, evidence of just a hardcore evidence would be a ground shaker. Now to actually catch one, I can tell you that I would be pretty confident in putting quite a bit of money, and I wouldn't be too worried, about that. Hey, I'm gonna have to give up that money. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because even if let's just be real. Even if you found one, catching it would be a pretty good chore, But now if you found one and you could get, on a schedule, I don't know how Bigfoot would be, but I can tell you, like deer hunting, I mean, you go out, they run a certain pattern, and you try to find where they're running, and they make certain marks and certain, there's ways and signs and that to go out and look. And so, if you could ever figure out what a Bigfoot does, what signs, and you could get into their habitat and know what they did, you're going to have to be able to do that before you devise a plan how to catch it, I would think.
Yeah.
And so right now, there's nobody that could even get into, hey, we know this is 100% a Bigfoot sign, 100% this is, how to track it, how to, what patterns. So what you're looking for is patterns when you're doing stuff like that. And so, we don't know any of that. And again, so right now, that's a good question, but I honestly, don't feel like, I feel like that if we get people down there, we get them in the woods, we get them with the camera, we get them trying to collect evidence. If somebody comes up, and in fact, I may even encourage, let's put something there for hardcore evidence. Let's give $1,000 for maybe something, a verifiable evidence of Bigfoot.
Yeah.
So that I would be just as interested in that. I think that would be. So again, it's a legitimate question. I saw one of your viewers said they don't think it'll pass. Any bill's hard to pass. It's going to be tough to pass. I'm not going to be a liar. This one's got a lot of attention. They may not, they may be scared to touch it because they may not want to fade as much heat. I don't mind taking a little heat. But I'm going to tell you something. There's a lot of interest in it. And if they will stop and think and look at the way I'm looking at it, I think anybody that will look at it and just take a second, take a deep breath, not trying to hurt Bigfoot, not trying to harm Bigfoot, not trying to harm its habitat, want people to come out, have the experience, have the fun, look for, try to find evidence. If they do capture it, okay, we will pony up and give $25,000. Not too worried about that right now. Just would like people to come out. If you think about it that way, I think we're on to something. And again, I think they're doing a bunch of it already right there over in Ho Chi Town. I'm just trying to move it on out to our area and to get it out there where people are actually getting out and having the experience of going out and enjoying the actual going and hunting and looking.
Yeah. I mean, the chase is what it's all about.
Yeah. That's the fun of it. That's anybody that's been on that, any kind of hunt like it. And again, as we talked about earlier, hey, I'm okay if we all went hunting. I'm okay if I sat back at camp and cooked for you guys. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I would enjoy going out with you guys and hanging out, sitting around the campfire, get me one of them layback chairs and just kicking back, looking at the stars, get me a big old sleeping bag and sit right there by the fire and that to me is just a lot of fun, a lot of enjoyment. And again, it's, somebody's always going to get stuck, get lost, have a flat, there's something goes on at every one of them deals and everybody has to get up and go get somebody and go, I know you guys have been on it and just about every time that something like that happens, people
get stuck, that
there's always stories to tell. Always.
You bring back me.
I've never went down Bigfooting with these guys and not had some kind of story to say.
All right, yeah.
Something to share. I mean, we go down there, we don't see Bigfoot, we don't hear Bigfoot, we hike, we do everything, we're canoeing, kayaking, we have all this great time. We don't find anything Bigfoot, but we still have stuff to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I've run my four-wheeler off I jumped the deal, run it off in the river. My kids still talk about that, Dad. Golly, I got stuck here one time with my son. And we got right at dusky dark. He goes, "Don't try it, Dad. Don't try it." Oh, I can make it. Boy, we get down there. I stick the thing where it's almost sideways. It just, and I can't get it out. And I got my boot stuck in there, and it's so deep the mud sucked the sole of my boot off. And we were about, I don't know, 2 miles, probably mile and a half from the truck. And it's a long ways around there if we'd walked the road. And I was like, hey, we can cut right down through here and we're going to make it before dark. We didn't make it before dark. It's dark and I'm out there with 1 foot on going through briars and stuff like that. When you're doing it, you're a little bit aggravated and, but after it's all said and done, guess what? Hey, me and my kids laughed about that 100 times. We'll go over where I got stuck. And you remember, oh, you goofy, you should have run off in that, So those are the kind of things that make memories and man, you just don't forget. And to get in the woods with your sons and your daughters and, nephews, nieces, your brothers, your kinfolk and your friends. I mean, hey, I'm just telling you that's what I'm promoting. It's not, again, if you find a Bigfoot, super. I mean, that's just extra, that's just an added plus. But I think if you find what I'm talking about, you found something really worth coming for.
Yep. I totally agree with you on that. So somebody wants to watch you tranquilize one. So, I'll pass on the tranquilizing one. So
just get them drunk.
Get them drunk. Yeah, maybe Bigfoot likes to drink. I don't know. So.
You know what? I'm trying to talk it in one of the breweries into making a special Bigfoot brew. So they can do that. So
Hey, I will say that my little brother was there just a couple of weeks ago. He stayed for about a week in Broken Bow, and he brought me back some local beer.
mhm.
Was it the Mountain Fork Brewery?
Yeah, so good.
Yeah, and so there's a big move to try to make it to where that they can actually sell on their premises for liquor. So when you get into the spirits, you can't actually buy on the premises, and so I think we got a bill filed that would allow that to happen, and looking at trying to start a moonshine where they can not just them but anybody that would want to kind of start their own distillery and start doing a moonshine deal. But those are good old boys right there. That brewery you're talking about, them are really, really good guys. They've really turned that into a profitable business. But them are just awesome good guys. And so again, I'm trying to talk them into doing a special line if we get this passed.
That'd be cool.
And I think that would be really neat. And again, it's just a promotional angle that we will have, and it'd be something that if you went down there and you got your license and you hung that on the wall, and then you could buy, if you didn't want to drink that thing, you could buy a bottle and put that right there with it and keep it stored up there. I think most people probably wouldn't. It'd probably be an empty bottle. You know what I'm saying? So,
it's been empty around here in these parts.
So you face a little criticism here. I guess you got a guy saying, or someone, when deer hunting, you look for an animal that looks like a deer. Bigfoot hunting, I'm afraid people will look for a bipedal movement. Dumb idea to promote money for here. But, people get shot deer hunting every year.
True.
I mean, you're going to have careless mistakes, but I understand what they're saying is you're going to focus your attention to something walking on two legs. But that's just, you need to be a responsible hunter. And like Justin's saying, he's not promoting going out shooting Bigfoot. He's talking live capture. So,
yeah, I wanted to answer that person.
Go for
it. We spent quite a bit of time going over and over again that we're not advocating shooting Bigfoot. We're not wanting to shoot Bigfoot. We're talking about how to capture him live. We've spent a whole lot of this series right here talking about would you really want to try to tackle him and try to capture him live? And if you did, you'd have to devise a pretty good plan on how to do that and not harm him. And so I think you're talking about somebody who would just shoot something off the cuff. And again, like I say, that happens in deer hunting. That happens in just about every kind of sporting with guns that you can talk about. I think that most are responsible. I think that we train our youth up. We make them go through training. I think most of us people who have hunted have been trained with weapons, and we know not to point them. We know not to crawl over fences with them. We know crawling out of a tree to unload them. We know not to point them. We know if you shoot them, you better make dang sure what you're shooting at, and you better make sure that you got a good shot. So are there people out there in the woods that won't do that? I'll guarantee you any day, any of the week. Are there people who get out there? We're talking about drinking. Again, I would never advocate drinking and getting out there and hunting. We're not advocating that. But if a couple of boys want to take some brew and go over to their campsite and sip on a little bit, that's, if that's what they want to enjoy, I wouldn't encourage them to get out there. That's when they get lost, I'll guarantee you.
Yeah. That's when it gets scary.
But again, everybody's entitled to their own opinion, and sir, whoever you are, you're entitled to your opinion, and I understand what you're saying, but I disagree with you.
Yeah, nothing wrong with that. And I know we have somebody that says promote the beauty of the Kiamichi instead of Sasquatch, but I think this person's missing the point here is that there's a whole group of people that love Bigfoot, Sasquatch related items, or things, and you're just trying to give them, basically provoke those people to come to your area and participate and get out in that and actually enjoy, the wilderness and everything there. So it looks like we lost Shane. So, but yeah, I mean, how you're gonna get that criticism. I mean, we've talked about that beforehand. It's going to be part of.
I'm okay. Here's one of the things we've lost in our country. We've lost the ability to disagree with each other civilly. Again, I think that if you've listened to me talk here for the last, whatever we've been on here, 20 minutes, 30 minutes.
Yeah, 45. So
45.
Time flies with us, Justin. So
if you've listened to me, I don't see how you could listen to me and not hear what I'm wanting to promote. Is the beauty, is the fun, is the camaraderie, the rivers, the lakes, the mountains, the night air, the stars. That is what I'm wanting to promote. But if you want to hunt Bigfoot and you want to get out there, well, then why shouldn't you be allowed to do that? And again, I mean, I don't see that as a problem. What I'm wanting to offer you is an opportunity to come in and do that, and to possibly lease land, to possibly have a place to do it, to think about more diverse ways to do it. Wouldn't it be cool if somebody had one of them platform boats and pontoon boat and loaded up 6 people, and if they went around the edge of the lake and just at night or something and wanted to try to see if they could call in a Bigfoot, I think that sounds like a lot of fun. I'm not necessarily a believer of Bigfoot, but if you couple of guys wanted to go and jump on a boat like that, I'd probably go over and ride around with you and think it'd be a lot of fun, and no telling what we're going to call up. We might call up a coyote, bobcat, who knows? And again, I will enjoy them. And I will tell you, I know guys that like to shoot coyote, like to shoot pigs. My deal is if I went, I don't really care about killing anything. I just gonna go over there just for the fun of going, And so that's what I'm talking about. So for your viewer that's talking about why don't I promote that? That's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to promote that. And if people want to get out there and do that around Bigfoot, it's okay. Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, no, I agree. So aliens are not real. I don't know where Doug got that from, but
okay, I want to. So, was it the forest ranger that's out there you spoke to?
It was a Oklahoma Department of Wildlife.
Okay, so he was asked if he had ever, laid eyes on Bigfoot or any kind of activities Bigfoot related, and he was like, no, but if you want to talk about what's up in the sky, we can talk about that. So
yeah, it definitely has some UFO related stories. But at that point, I was so, I guess nose to the ground on Bigfoot. I told him, I said, well, I'm not tracking aliens right now, so I'll get back with you on that.
Yeah, I don't have room in my brain for that. Right now.
I'm focused on Bigfoot right now, so I had to stay on task at that point. So
you know what? I'm about the same with alien activity.
Thanks for saying I'm not the correct way.
You can't explain it. I'm not shut down to. You know what I'm saying? I'm like that. Hey, show the evidence. Let's look at what you got. There's a lot of people who have had experiences that, and again, that may just be a plane. That may just be, who knows what the government's testing or what other governments are testing. So, I'm not necessarily saying there's aliens out of space, but who knows what kind of aircrafts or whatever is been through here. But at the end of the day, I will tell you this about Bigfoot. And this, if there's anything that makes me kind of go, man, Bigfoot, there's something to it, is you just got to look at how long and how many years and through how many societies and countries that people have claimed to have encounters with Bigfoot, a Bigfoot-like animal. And so, again, we're talking, it doesn't matter if it's this country or another country. It doesn't matter if you're going talking to the Native Americans before, statehood and stuff. It doesn't, just practically just all over the United States for years and years and years. For hundreds of years, people have had these types of sightings or experiences. And so that just, I think you can keep an open mind, and it doesn't mean you're crazy.
Exactly. Yeah. A lot of people think we're crazy, though, don't they, Shane?
I don't mind people thinking.
You know what, man? My wife thought I was lunatic. She's like, you just want to go out and hang out with your friends in the woods. Well, I mean, yeah, that's part of it because we're a great team. But then I started bringing home casts, of prints, and she was looking at them, and then she was like, "What the hell are you doing out there in this woods?" So
Hey, you know what? And you're bringing that up, and I can tell you, for years and years, people said there were no black cats. Cougars around here, that were black. So panther, what they call a real black panther, and you'd have people say, "No, I'd seen it, and then oh, y'all all crazy." Well, hey, we've so we had somebody live right there, and I don't live I live a little remote area, but not way out in the woods like we're talking about. So there's several houses around. I live right there, pretty close to lane, about a mile there, and had a neighbor that their kid went out to feed, and something followed him back in, and the dad come out. The kid got concerned coming in, and dad come out and saw the cat and was, "Hey, it's a black cat," and so everybody kind of, but people had taken pictures of cats, a little north of there and stuff like that. And so, people are a little less now going, "Oh, it no way," and now people are going, "Well, maybe." So this is a pretty solid guy, and so I was kind of, I had an old sick calf, and he wasn't bad. He was bad enough we could catch him in the pasture, but me and my boy could barely get him. We had to walk him to the lot, and he's strong enough that he's hard getting that lot, And anyways, I put him in the lot, so he wasn't anywhere close to dead. He just needed a little extra attention. I'm gonna put him in there and take care of him a little bit. Come out there the next morning, that sucker's dead, and he's about half ate. And may been that cat, So got an old brush pile there, just a little north of there, and a big old cedar tree kind of on that brush pile. And I just took a tractor, throwed him up there on top of that. Come out there the next day, and like I say, he's about, his hind end was eat off there quite a bit. Hey, next day he's out of that tree, and that'd be pretty tough and carry this. I mean, this is about a 500-pound, yearling, and he carries him out of that tree and takes him back over the lot.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and so I couldn't find any tracks there. Well, a day or so later, I have a calf come up missing, and we're looking for him in another little pasture just south of this pasture, and we're looking for that calf. We come around there, and that calf's shoved up in a little dirt bank, and it's missing big part of his shoulder and stuff like that, and half of it. And I got to looking around there, and I took pictures. You want to talk about some tracks? Now, this dude laid down some tracks. And so, again, I never got to see it, but that guy said he seen it, and I ended up missing. I know something got my calves right there, and it wasn't, it wasn't no coyote or anything like that. I mean, to drag that thing out of the top of that tree took a pretty big animal.
Well, Justin, so we have game cameras out in Oklahoma, and we had, I'm going there, Brian. So we had, and we never expected to see this at all. So I'm going through these game camera pictures, because I upload them onto the computer and clear the card and put the card back in to continue. So I'm kind of going through these pictures, and there's this big steer that walks by, and then the same exact minute, this big cat walks by, and I'm going, that is a big ass mountain lion that I've ever seen. So I sent it to Brian. Brian sent it to the game warden, actually. Well, it was a lioness, an African lion.
Wow.
An African lion. So it's like, there's no telling what the hell you're
Yeah. Yeah, this thing is huge, and her ears are back, and she is stalking up on this. It's a big longhorn is what it is, and she is just right on him.
Her head is with her shoulders, man. She is just,
yeah. And
Hey,
so,
yeah, that's what I say. I mean, somebody bring something like that over here and turn it loose. You know, I mean,
There you go.
that's like pythons down there in Florida. You know, I mean, uh, hey, you never can tell. You can't tell what's out there. You know, I mean, people tell you how you crazy. When I was younger, all high school age probably, I guarantee you I saw, they tell you that a real wolf, that we don't have. And I would agree. We probably don't, but I think people might've brought one in but I'm going to tell you, I saw, I mean, as clear as you can. What I would say would look. I went and looked it up in my book. Hey, what did I just see? Because that wasn't. I've seen coyote all my life, and I know what a dog looks like. This dude wasn't no dog. This wasn't no coyote. And I went and looked it up, and it looked like from the picture. I think it's called timber wolf. But I mean. Did I see what I mean, I can tell you I saw it clear as day, and that's what I think I saw. But, is it possible? I think somebody might, somebody might have brought one of them things in, and again, it got loose. You can't never tell. But, people used to say, hey, them mountain lions wasn't here. And, I mean, I remember first one we saw, people tell us we was crazy. My granddad, when we saw the first one and we saw it as clear, I mean, we got to watch it a long ways, and it went down there and went through a gate, and that gate wasn't muddy, but it's that soft mud. You know what I'm saying? That real soft. And boy, it laid down some prints. Perfect. I mean, perfect. And my granddad always used to carry jugs of water. He'd freeze them, and then he'd let them melt, and then we'd drink water out of them jugs. Well, he had us pour out the water, cut the jug in half, and dig it print up and put in that jug so that we'd have evidence that people would believe us.
Now there's a way to do it.
we did it, and again, it was a long time before I saw another cat. That's one of the first ones, and people really just at that time wouldn't have thought you saw what you saw. But now it's not that uncommon. You don't see them every day, but people know that mountain lions are here.
Oh yeah.
yeah, when you were talking about the black cat, I have a friend of mine. He's quite a bit older than me. He's probably 20 years older. May put him in his mid 60s, late 60s. And in the early 90s, he said that he saw a black mountain lion just outside of Davis, Daugherty area, down around Lake Arbuckle. So, and he's an outdoors guy, hunts fish. I mean, he knows what mountain lions look like. He knows what bobcats look like. And I mean, he saw it plain day. I have no doubt that guy saw what he saw. So
I've actually seen not the black one, but I've never seen a black one, but I've seen just brown, what they call mountain lion, cougar, whatever you want to call them. Now I saw two together, which is pretty. That's a pretty rare thing. But and they jumped up on no post. And they come over the turnpike and jumped up on the post, and I got to watch them come down through there, and then lost them. I mean, it's just amazing how them things, you be watching them dudes, and they just disappear out of sight. And they come up there. I was sitting on the side of a little old mountain road there where you can see down through there, and them dudes popped up in an old briar patch just right across the road from me. I mean, they just popped up. And what was funny, I'm sitting under a cedar tree with one of them. It's kind of a little misty that day, so I had one of them ponchos on. So it come over. It's green, so it's green, and it's here. And I've got the old poncho there, and my gun underneath the poncho, and I'm just sitting there, and I watched them. And I'm talking, they pop up right across the road from me. And how in the world them things spotted me? Because I mean, I'm sitting still. And about the only thing really is my eyes that could, and them dudes look right at me. I mean, they looked at you and you knew they saw you, and gone, and never saw them again. I mean, and they were gone. But I got to watch them quite a while. It was really, and again, we're sitting here talking about those kinds of that stuff, man, you remember, and and that's the stuff that I'm talking about. Get out there, look for Bigfoot, and run into 2 mountain lions, and watch your blood go to, it's pretty. It'll get you going, and and hey, I mean, didn't kill nothing that day, but I wouldn't trade it for the world. I got to watch them. The only thing I wished I had was a camera that I wished I could have recorded.
You always need a camera when you don't have one.
You do. And I anymore hunting, I just carry a camera. I used to hunt all the time, go out. I was avid at it. Anymore, I just soon have it on film. I'd rather it'd be, to me, I would wait just as soon take a picture of them as kill them. You know what I'm saying? So.
Yeah, and that's kind of our philosophy right now with our group. Southern Bigfoot Alliance is we're a no-kill group. That's our basic principle. But there are, those groups that are out to harvest a specimen, and while that personally ain't for me, I see their point. I understand why they want to do it. So I don't judge those people that are going down that road, but it's just not for me. Like I tell people all the time, I'll go with those guys in the woods. I'll hang out with them. I'll camp with them, but I ain't your trigger man. So.
Well, you got these guys saying they're going to kill one or whatever, but you get all these instances where you hear a hunter's encounter and they're looking through their scope, deer hunting, and they see this large hairy being and they look at its face and they're like, I wasn't going to pull a trigger, man, because this thing looks like it's human, So you've got that going, too. So it's like, yep. This is, how much human is it? If that's what that is, I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, and the thing about it is, do you want to shoot something that rare? I mean, if you saw one and you really saw it, and hey, if that's the only thing, if they're that rare, I personally don't want to kill it. I mean, why would you want to kill something like that? Now, I can understand wanting people to believe you, wanting people to, so I get that aspect of it, that how you'd want to. I get the aspect if somebody was scared, if you were in fear for your life, okay.
Definitely.
Possibility, I ain't going to let something kill me, but
yeah, for sure.
I can tell you, it'd have to corner me up pretty hard. You know what I'm saying? I'd probably leave it alone, let it go right on down the road. I'd hope I'd have a camera, and sure enough, like you said, you never have one.
You never have a damn camera.
But for me, I'd
want
your group to understand that is nowhere near that ain't even a thought for me. We're not talking about killing it. We're talking about, if you want to prove existence, let's capture it. Let's devise a plan. But let's get out there and study it. Let's study the habitat. Let's study the patterns. Let's study the food that it's eating, and then let's devise a good plan on capturing it. And again, if you're into hunting, that's the hunt. That's the part. It's learning your prey and learning what you want to capture and how to capture it, and then doing it. And that's the whole fun of it. And so again, kind of, we was laughing about them guys from Mountain Monsters, but they have a heck of a time.
Yeah, they're having a hell of a time.
Yeah.
They do all the work. I've noticed that. Them two do all the trap building. I'd kind of protest if I was them. I'd be like, hey, y'all boys need to come in here and kick in a little bit,
Yeah,
so,
and they're getting paid to hang out. You know what I mean?
Maybe they should build not a trap, but maybe some kind of tripod stand to give young buck, so maybe he doesn't fall over so much or something. Because that dude's always falling down.
I'm not going to say much because I'm about like that anymore. The older I get, I seem to stumble quite a bit.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Is Justin, is that the guy you were referring to when you called him Charlie earlier? Charles Benton?
That may be it. He's from yeah.
He's in Hochatown.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if Charles, if that's you, put in that that's you, because Yeah, I just met him the other night. We actually, I went down there to talk about that bill that I was talking about, helping that Hochtown brewery. I'm not carrying that, but a friend of mine's carrying it, and I told him I'd work with him to try to get it done. And so we went down there and met him, and Charlie was down there, and anyways, a friend of mine introduced me to him, and we went outside, and all three of us were talking, and he seemed like an awfully good guy, and very, very convincing person that he had experience. So,
was he wearing all camo?
I don't recall what he was wearing that night, but he had a really
white
cool
beard.
He had a really, really cool Jeep. Is what I wasn't paying that much attention to him, but now he had he had a medical sign on his Jeep, and the top come back. He showed us how the top comes. He can just push a button and the top goes back. And it was quite the ride. But
I know who you're talking about. So
that's cool.
But I enjoyed meeting him.
He's a cool guy.
Yeah, I enjoyed listening to his story. And again, that's what I'm saying. Hey, you get out there. We can sit around here for hours and hours if we start swapping stories. Hey, let me tell you when this happened to me, and let me tell you what this, let me tell you about running my four-wheeler off in a gate and sticking.
I think he had some Charles apple pie.
Let's say trying to get people coming to Zara, explore tourism, which I get is go. Yeah, it looks like Hoosier Squatch is kind of following what you're going for there, Justin. I have to ask you, when you met Charles, did you have any of his apple pie?
No apple.
No apple pie? Okay.
And like I say, here's what's funny. I used to drink a fifth a day, practically just about. Like I say, I had to come to a point. I got out in the pasture and said, Lord, if you want to know good drunk, here I am, and I'm still pretty rough. He's got a lot of work left to do on me, but if you see me drinking, call the police because the charges just get ugly.
Okay. Got you.
All right. If we go around the campfire, you boys are welcome to drink, no problem. But if you see me drinking, you take a stick and whack me on the head. You don't want to see that, it gets pretty ugly.
Well, it'll be fine because I don't drink either, Justin. So we'll be all right. So,
well, I don't oppose nobody if they do, but I dang sure I get in mighty big trouble if I do. And so my problem was I couldn't never put the cork back in the thing, so just don't do it.
Well, if someone hands you a beer, just hand it to me, man. I'll take care of it for you.
There you go.
You be my wingman. I'll let you take care.
Yes, sir.
And I'll watch out for you. I'll be your driver. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay. That's
I'm crazy. The way I drive sober, it'd be lots of fun for you. You know what I'm saying?
This is an interesting, statement here. He says, after analyzing all the info for years, one thing is clear: they are human. A big, hairy race but they're human. It would be a human rights violation to imprison one. Lockbeard, I guess is his name. I get what he's saying, but that's your own opinion on that, whether or not they're human. We don't know that for sure.
There's not one on a dissecting table anywhere.
Yeah.
I think that's I think it's a valid point. I think without capturing one, we really don't know which side of that, are they human? Are they closer to animal? What would they be? So, I definitely understand what he's saying. I definitely get that might be an issue. I think that if we did capture one, I'll guarantee you that issue is going to come up and that debate's and I'm not going to say how that debate's going to come out because I think it's kind of like when marijuana passed, I wasn't for it. Here in Oklahoma, they passed medical marijuana. I am for medical marijuana. I'm not for the way they passed it in Oklahoma. But here's what I wouldn't vote for it. But if you wanted me to argue either way, I can make a strong argument either way. You know what I'm saying? So on that issue, that's one of them, man. It does hit the line. Not trying to be a politician, but I could argue, either way on that thing. But you'd have to see what you had in front of you, to I think that, you know, you'd have to see once captured. I mean, what's the intelligence level? I mean, you know, things like that. What really what it really would be.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
and
just
you
a
know,
blank slate right now. So go ahead, Brian.
and I agree with him to a certain degree, you know, because from what I saw personally, you know, I do think it's human, and so I agree with him in what he's saying there about it being, you know, human rights violation. But we don't know that because we don't have it categorized, you know, legally. So I think at that point there would be some more legislation that would have to go into effect,
Oh, God.
whether that makes we recognize them as being human or we recognize them as being an animal, you know, something like that, and it would just go from there, and then, you know, it'd be a whole new set of rules and different ball game at that point. So
Yeah, whoever way back here when we first started talking, somebody talked about how it would change everything if you actually caught. Catch you later, Andy. That you would actually, you know, I mean, the world would change. I mean, if you actually caught one of these and validated it, you know, it would just be, you know, something. And again, all the questions you're talking about and many, many more would all come into play and all be valid questions to ask. And so again, one of the things that, you know, I mean, I'd be all excited to have somebody come down in our part of the world and actually, you know, I'm not going to hold my breath as they going to happen, you know, but if it did, I would be tickled to death. And again, I think it's a lot of fun to try to get out there and you know, make it happen. See if it's there. And again, if you don't, like I said, we've been out there hunting 1,000 times and not got something, and still have lots of good memories to share when we get back.
yeah, the experience, that's what it really is. So
Yeah, for sure.
Was that Charlie that got on there? Was that him?
yeah, that's him. Yeah,
Oh,
I guess he's saying he got an
twin
evil
brother.
twin brother. It gets him in trouble. Yeah.
The doppelganger guy.
Yeah, he's an interesting guy. So yeah, great conversation. I think this has been a really good conversation. I think this helps a lot of the people in this community understand your point. You know what I mean? And I think that was.
Well, I hope so. And again, I want to say to them, there seems to be one person on there, especially come on, you know, saying, hey, you never pass it. And again, I understand. I mean, I understand, you know, if you really believe that they're out there and you don't want to see them disturbed, I get that part of it. And again, I respect everybody out there and respect your opinion, you know, and it's okay for us to have different opinion. And I will take this for the ones who really want to see this happen. It's going to be tough to pass. I mean, this has got a lot of tension and it's got a lot of heat. And so a lot of legislators are going to be scared of it. They're going to get calls and, you know, we got better things to do and this is an idiot and this is stupid. And again, I think if they'll just sit back and take a deep breath, and you know what, this is something that just we have lost, that you take one thing and people just go crazy. I mean, Trump says something crazy, just crazy. Yep. And somebody says one word, the whole world goes crazy. They don't even know what was said, you know. And just like this, man, people just run wild with it. And if, you know, if you don't want to hunt it, you know, if you don't want to hunt Sasquatch, if you don't want to hunt Bigfoot, then don't go. You know, but if other people want to, there's nothing wrong with that. And if they get to come to our area and they get to enjoy themselves, nothing wrong with that. So why people what's so crazy about that? And again, if it is stupid, I've done some pretty stupid things in my world ago, man. I can promise you, I can promise all your viewers and I can promise everybody around the United States, this is not the stupidest thing I've done. I will promise. If y'all think this is stupid, y'all just come hang out. You know what I'm saying? So you know, I wish people would learn to laugh again. People would learn to enjoy themselves. And again, we could pass serious legislation and still have legislation that allows people to get out in the woods. And I don't see why people don't take this legislation serious. I don't see this any different than a deer season, than a turkey season. Again, yes, it's does it actually exist or does it not? But what we're hunting is the evidence of that. That's the hunt. The hunt is proving it exists. So,
well, I was thinking, Justin, if like you said, it's going to be tough to pass, right?
Yeah.
But in the event that it doesn't pass, we'll play devil's advocate. You could always get a group of people that could sell these Bigfoot permits, as a raffle. The same thing. Hey, anyone that captures one of these, you win. It's a money's all in a pot, winner takes all type deal, and you can still generate tourism through that if you had to. So,
hey, if I was Chamber of Commerce anywhere, if I was Chamber of Commerce in one of these towns, from Atoka to Broken Bow, I would add on. Hey, if we pass this thing, I'd add on. If you come down here and register right here, and you can prove where you're hunting, and that you do it in this area, you capture it in our area, we're going to add on another 25. Because here's the deal: what's the likelihood you're going to have to pay that? Not likely. But
yeah.
Hey, my deal is, if I got to pay $25,000 for a Bigfoot, hey, I got a heck of an investment. I mean, that's no big deal. I'll pay $25K out of my pocket right now. If you bring me a Bigfoot right now,
I'm on my way.
I'll give you 25 cash money if you need it. I'll go get it right now, So here's the thing, if these Chamber of Commerce and these cities would get past, oh, what do we look like and all that, and go, hey, you know what? He may actually have a point here. And again, like you say, if it doesn't pass, I can tell you, I got called today from Michigan. I made the news in Michigan. I made the news in Chicago. I talked to a boy twice in New York. Good guy, seemed like. I've talked to people all over the country, and I can tell you, Honubby got put on the map. And whether this thing passes or whether it doesn't pass, I truly believe that there are going to be people coming to Honubby to check it out and see if Bigfoot exists and get to enjoy the country. So whether it does or not, I think we've already hit a home run. And, I've got people talking about doing guided hunts. I honestly don't think whether this bill passes or not, if we generate enough attention, guess what? I would encourage those people to put out, hey, I'll do a guided hunt. I would encourage people to start thinking about, you know what? I wouldn't mind having my property. I can tell you this. I'd just soon have some Bigfoot hunter over there. It's just, I've got some property leased for deer hunting and turkey hunting, and I'd have to talk to the people who would lease that, but I'd see if they'd let me sublease it to, can't deer hunt, can't turkey hunt, but we'd go look for, I don't think they'd care, and so, I would be open. I've got some property that doesn't have a lease on it. Hey, I'd be very open to if somebody wanted to come, and that's a pretty remote little area right there. I don't want to go with you on that one because, boy, if you have to climb up that hill, I climbed. Last time I climbed up it, I said, "I ain't climbing up there no more." That's pretty steep, But anyways, I mean, that's what I would encourage people to think about. These people down here in southeastern Oklahoma is to open up and think, hey, this may be an opportunity to make a little money and to bring a new tourist attraction to our area that could be, we've got a little festival and it's got some notoriety and it's grown and it's a pretty big deal. I mean, it's a big deal, but
I think it's a huge deal, especially with what happened out there.
I mean, but here's the thing. What I'm wanting to do is, I'm really wanting to put it on the map. I mean, I'm wanting to make it to where, hey, that by itself brings people year round wanting to check out what's going on. And again, I'm looking at, right now we've got people in the area. I'm wanting to say, hey, let's bring people from New York. Let's bring people from Chicago. Let's bring people from California and bring them in here. And again, let's let them go back and say, hey, one of the coolest things you'll ever do is go out there and hunt old Bigfoot,
Yeah.
and then have their neighbors. I mean, that's how it starts. That's how you get it started. And so again, people think I'm crazy. Maybe we'll have to wait and see. Proof's in the pudding. We'll see whether I'm crazy or not.
Now we're all a little crazy.
We gotta be. We gotta be. Life's too short to not be a little crazy. So.
Well, I wish people could learn to laugh at themselves again, and learn to not take themselves so seriously, and learn that Facebook, boy, everybody's Facebook warriors, and man, they just trash. Again, used to you got your face slapped for half stuff they say on there,
Mm-hmm.
And I'm rude. Here's what I laugh. I'm not rude to most people. I'm rude to people who are rude. You know what I'm saying? So, boy, one of them guys that get on there and call everybody an idiot and trashes everybody. Oh, I'm gonna go after them like a biting hog, and boy, I guarantee you, and I can give as good as I can take. So if you want to start doing that, boy, I got one old boy. I just wear him out, I don't call people short. If I call you short, you're short. You really are short. If I call you short, and if I call you ignorant. If I call you ignorant, boy, you a dumb sucker, boy. I mean, you a dumb sucker. And I call that boy, I'm like, boy, you ignorant. Yeah.
Yeah, I think Charles is kind of on the same wavelength there with you, just trying to have fun, promote tourism. Of course, he's in the Hochatown. He knows all about tourism there, but
absolutely.
Yeah.
And hey, you know what, Charles, you're talking about that blood pressure thing. And no joke, really, I mean, no joke. Sometimes you need to just park life and get out of, I honestly, hey, one time I had stuff going on and went to the doctor and I had chest tight and he gave me some pain, muscle relaxers. I thought, what in the world are you going to give me muscle relaxers for? So I went to another doctor and he prescribed me muscle relaxers too. And I was like, what the crud would I need muscle relaxers for? He goes, you ain't having a heart attack. He said, you stressed. You're so stressed that you just tense like that. And he said, but I'm going to tell you something. If you don't learn to deal with it, you're going to have a heart attack. And I will tell you that I went and said, hey, I got to get out, go out to the woods. And, I don't know. I put my mind around it. And today stuff don't, I don't, that's just like right now. Why can I run this bill? And if you went up to Capitol, people tell you, hey, he's not scared to take a little heat. I'm going to tell you because I've just learned, I know who I am. I know what my intent is. My intent is good. I don't have any ill intentions on this. I will try to do my best to make sure that the language in it gets put right to where it helps everybody. And at the end of the day, if it don't go, okay. And if it does go, okay. And if people think I'm stupid, okay. And if people think I got people, oh, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. Now, I don't know if I go that, but you know what I'm saying? There's people on both ends of the spectrum.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing wrong with trying to, as a politician, it's your job, your duty to better your area, right? I mean, and that's what you're going for. You want to better the lives of the people in your district. You want to create revenue for them, business opportunities for them. I see this no different than hunting ranches or anything like that for deer or exotic game or anything like that. I know people get real sensitive about it because it's Bigfoot and we don't want to disturb them and things like that. But I mean, Shane and I have been chasing this thing for some time. So I don't think that a guy getting off his couch who's never been in the woods is going to get out there and get lucky and build a trap and catch one of these things on a weekend trip,
Yeah, so he probably needs to walk 80 yards uphill first and see if he can do that.
Hey, I'll take him over that hill I'm talking about. I promise you. When he gets up to the top of that sucker, he'll be ready to come back down. He'll hit. We put a chair out there by the daggum campfire. He'll probably lay out. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, you get out there and start going up and down that 2 or 3 times. You know, and again, you know, especially guys like you guys who go after it pretty harder than maybe some folks. You're not going to go out there. Your goal is not to go out there and disturb all that. Yeah. If you're out there hunting Bigfoot nature, there are going to be some youngsters probably, like I say, go over and kind of like what we talk about, tie one on, you know, drink a little bit and get out there and act rowdy. But you know what? They're probably going to do that, you know, whether they're after Bigfoot or whether they got a license. That goes on all the time. So if that disturbs Bigfoot, he's disturbed quite a bit down in this neck of the woods. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Because you know they've been doing that for as long as I can remember. You know, and so again, you know, I think the avid person who really is sincere about, hey, we want to prove Bigfoot exists, is probably going to be somebody who respects nature, who respects the outdoors, who respects if Bigfoot did exist, would it, you know? So I see that as you know, again, there's always going to be those people who are spoilers and people who you know, do things that are wrong. But I think the majority of people probably listening here on this deal would be people who would respect the outdoors.
Oh yeah, definitely.
For sure. Wow.
I think we may have ran out of questions.
Wow.
We wore them out, didn't we?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Let's see. Anybody's asking if there's any decent jobs out in Ho Chi Town. Business and environmental management. Know a lot of science. Love the outdoors. Lockbeard, I don't know. I mean, Ho Chi Town's an interesting community. Or I guess it may be its own city before long. I guess from what
I'm telling you,
with,
man.
So.
We first started going out there about 3 years ago. We started heading up into those woods.
As far as looking for Bigfoot. Yep.
I have seen that stretch of road from Broken Bow to Ho Chi Town just boom, just boom, tourists. You know.
And what I would advise Longbeard, I would check into those. There's about 13 out-of-state timber companies. What I would pull up, look at deer leases, and you can get like deer leases in McCurtain County or deer leases in Push County. I would pull that up. Most of those timber companies are going to be on that. I would contact them because they do manage. They've got so much land in there. They're going to do management on wildlife because they lease that. I might pull up big ranches in that area. You know, Chamber of Commerce with Ho Chi Town. Ho Chi Town's a unique. It's really, really unique. I was visiting with them the other day on their fire department. So I was talking to the fire chief, and anyways, I was like, well, how many people y'all got live in Ho Chi Town here? Kind of how big a fire department do you need? And I think they told me it's either 230 or 300 people live in Ho Chi Town. And I'm like, well, now, bull crap. I mean, you got, you know, and they said, well, now hold on. Said there may be 20,000 here, but, you know, they won't live here. They're not residents of here.
Yeah.
About 230, 300, whatever he said. I don't know, but it was a shock to me to say, wow. So it's really a unique area because lots of people there, but they're cabins. They got lots of cabins and they've got lots of, so again, the wildlife is what the draw. The lake is the draw, you know, and they've got some good things to do now with the Jeeps and all of that kind of stuff. And so, but I can tell you in our area, I was talking to some people the other day. They're talking about we're getting a hang gliding. So go off over at Buffalo Valley. So yeah, that would be pretty pretty cool. I don't know if I'm quite up for that. I shattered my hip a few years ago in a wild cow milking. We did get her cow milk, by the way.
Well, you could incorporate that hang glide into looking for Bigfoot. I mean, just pair them right up. I mean,
here's the deal. That's what I'm trying to say is that what we're wanting to create is a place where you don't just have to come down and just look for Bigfoot. Hey, you know what? Go rear hang glide, and like I say, we might actually come up with a plan like you're talking about. Hey, let's put on a little videotape. Let's hunt Bigfoot hang glide style. So
yeah.
That's the kind of stuff, that's the kind of atmosphere we want to create.
Yeah, definitely. Dustin, he's a good friend of ours. He's also one of the guys who started Southern Bigfoot Alliance with us. He's asking if you'll be at the Bigfoot Festival if it goes on this year.
Yeah, I will plan on coming to that. Absolutely. I want to promote that. I want to try to keep it going. And again, I hope that they will keep it going. I know COVID has knocked it out this year, but it's something that I think is good for our area. I think this is just something and I may be wrong, but I think it's something that we can really grow into something really, really, really big.
I agree.
I agree.
Well, Justin, we've been on for an hour and a half. So
I've never been accused of running out of stuff to say. I don't know if y'all know that.
Hey, you're talking to two of the kings of talking. I mean,
I would say I don't have to take back seat, but neither do you guys either.
But I was going to let you know that in the future, if we are ever in Southeast Oklahoma, which I mean, if we're ever, I know we will be. You are always more than welcome to hang around our campsite and come look for Bigfoot with us anytime you feel like it. So.
And I will tell you, hey, if you guys ever want to just take a little ride, I'll take y'all over some. We've got a little country over there that if you wanted to, maybe it's a little north of but I don't know if y'all know the Daisy area very much, but there's pretty good country right in there. So
pretty area.
I'd definitely be into letting y'all look that out and see. I've never seen any Bigfoot sign, but I'm gonna tell you that just like I said before, we got video of a bear up there, and I know they're there, but I hadn't seen it. And again, the guy'd have to get off over in the mountains probably to do it. And I'm if you can't ride up here, I probably if you can't drive your mule up there, I probably ain't gonna see.
Well, I definitely, like I said, I'll be down. I'm headed to Broken Bow on, I guess it's February 15th, that Saturday. So either on the way there, or on the way back, I'll try to remember to bring my cast and I'll holler at you.
Yeah, give me
because I usually take Highway 3 through Atoka and all that. So instead of going down to Indian Nation.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, if you take Highway 3, that's how I come from Oklahoma City. I drive to Oklahoma City a bunch. So I come through Ada and then come through Colgate, come right on down to Atoka and come right on towards Antlers. And so if you come through Lane, you come through Lane right there. But if you get to noticing, when you come through Lane, there's it used to be an old store. It's a red and white building. I've got it painted red and white. And anyways, I've turned that into my office. Okay. I've got a conference table here, and hey, we've got a little kitchen deal back here. So if we want to cook some food and have a meeting here and that kind of thing, and so anyways, we got a pool table in here and a card table and hey, we got to hang out. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, so, sounds like a good time. So
if you guys want to come down anytime, just holler at me. I'll meet you down here, and then like I say, maybe we get together and again. Guys, I really am. I'm looking at, hey, if this thing would take off, I'm interested maybe at our place. Hey, I'd take some guided tours out there and do things, I'm serious about this thing. I'm serious that, hey, I think this could be promoted into a big, big deal. And so be very glad to talk to you guys, sit down and see what you guys, because y'all are the ones that would be, let me pick your brains on, hey, what what would attract you? What would attract you to come to this area? What do we need to keep doing to get people that are interested in this to come and come to this area? So
Okay.
be very glad to sit down and talk on that.
I'm always available if you need that. So you
Hey, what part of Texas you from?
I actually live just south of Fort Worth.
South.
So in Burleson.
I go down there to the doctor quite a bit. Coyd Road, I think it's on Coyd Road.
Court Road.
Yeah, like I say, that old cow, she did me a number. She knocked out a pretty good chunk of my hip. So
wow.
Yeah. I mean, it totally knocked out a piece of my hip. Doctor told me there was no way I could walk on that, and I ended up walking about 6 or 7 months. Told him, I said, well, I got to go Capitol, because he's like, well, you ain't never gonna make it. I said, well, if I don't make it, I'll come back down here and you can cut on me. So he had to wait 7 or 8 months, but he hung me upside down and cut my hiney off and put a better plate in me. Bad experience.
Oh man,
I got to go back down there and visit him. That's one of them things you don't get over real quick. So I go back down there and visit him. He's a really good doctor. Really good doctor. Y'all got some good doctors now.
Thank you. All right, like I'm a doctor or something. Well, thank you very much.
Yeah, you can take claim, Shane. It's no big deal.
I don't know what the deal is. The medical seems to run out at the Red River. We got to get y'all come on. Y'all just try to send us them daggum red ants over, them fire ants. Y'all have them back. We want some of your medical.
Oh, those big ass.
That's awesome.
Oh my god. That's good stuff, man.
Well, Justin, we've enjoyed it. Yeah, we've enjoyed it, sir. And we appreciate you coming on. So,
and y'all stay in touch as this thing goes along. And if you want to have another one of these when we get about halfway.
Yeah, definitely. I'll be following it for sure. So.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Good to meet both of you guys.
Hey, you too.
I appreciate everybody out there.
Hey, I'll talk to you soon. I'll holler at you in a couple of weeks. So
you bet. Hey, Charles, you take it easy too.
Charles needs to bring you apple pie.
yeah. Well, I had to grab some of that for him when I'm down there. So,
man, cool dude. Very cool guy.
Very nice guy. Very nice guy. I got that vibe from him anyway. Just
when we were talking to him before the show and stuff. Yeah, you were talking to him way before I was.
Yeah, just super cool. So,
I mean, you got Facebook, you got a post, you got the news. People are gonna jump to these opinions, how everybody's wired. That's just the way the hell happens.
Yeah.
I think the guy's doing something legit, and he's not out there Bigfoot. It's not a lynch mob, So.
Yeah, and Southeast Oklahoma is a pretty remote area for a lot of people that's never been there, and a lot of those towns they struggle to survive. And so, like I was telling him earlier, I mean, it's just his job. He has got to generate revenue and keep his district afloat. And if Bigfoot can help him do that. I know people are going to probably criticize me for saying, oh, well, you're selling out Bigfoot. It's not that, though. It's just there's nothing wrong with trying to get people into the woods to enjoy it and see it for what it is. And if Bigfoot leads these new people to the woods and they find a love for the woods, then they're sold for life. You know what I mean? And I think that's what he's counting on. Yeah. So I'm just glad he came on. Yeah, I'm glad he came on. I mean, obviously he's a busy man and he's getting national attention for this, and it's very cool that he come on our little. I know, man. That was really cool. Our no show, basically. To hang out with us. So.
Well, we got all that TV money.
Yeah, that's what it is. Yeah. All that merchandise money, as you can see, as you can tell from our elaborate setup here, with my green screen that doesn't work right. We
got to bring that.
the money we're making is just flowing out of my ears off this.
I'm gonna have to get off here shortly because there's a big cloud up here, and all it does is rain money in this room.
I got to get off here before long because I got to finish counting my money. I've been counting it all.
Man.
Wore out.
I'm trying to make it rain in this sucker.
some people's kids, man. I tell you what, it's just ridiculous. Oh my goodness.
Oh my God. Hey, thanks, man. Good show. Thank you. And I think you are out there in B County, which I live in Burleson, and I've been trying to make my way out there. I would like to go out there. If I go out there, what's your name? Baltimore Galvin Jr. Get a hold of me, dude, and I'd like to link up with somebody that's familiar with the area to go check it out. So
yeah, it's just like Lockbeard said. All the people led there to find Bigfoot still find nothing. He ain't worried for the big guy, and that's kind of my thought too. Is like there are so many of us that dedicate a lot of our time, energy, money into this thing, and we come up short all the time.
All the time.
So some guy that's not familiar with the woods, and he decides, hey, I'm going to get me a Bigfoot hunting whatever permit or whatever it is license. I'm going to get out in the woods. Odds are he's not going to see this thing either.
Well, if you're going out there, you better love the woods.
Yeah,
as we do. I mean,
it's
wild.
And and we got to keep in mind, there's a lot of people that grow up different than us. Like they're not shown the woods. They don't have family members, like fathers and uncles and grandpas that take them out hunting and fishing. Maybe they live a different life than we do, and they grew up in the city and they don't know that side, but then they see this stuff on TV and they're like, man, that would be so cool, but I don't really know how to go about doing it. I mean, if there's a way for those people to get out there and enjoy some of that nature, I mean,
do it.
Just go for it. I mean, nothing wrong with that. So
hit up Bobby Garza if you go out to Beeville. Okay. I will do. Will do, sir.
Well, cool, man.
Man. Yeah, I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm starving. So we don't normally do a show on Friday night. So it was like get off work, I run home and throw it together and let's make it happen. So
that's right.
But we'll be back Monday.
Yes. Oh yeah,
our normal time.
I'll run that promo tomorrow. We've got an interesting guest, something different. So
yeah. So yeah, and this tonight was definitely different. So
man, I woke before I went to bed last night. Brian's like, "Hey man, we may have," and I was like, "What?" And then I couldn't sleep all night. Like, what am I gonna? And I wake up and I was like, all day I was like, "Oh my God, is this gonna happen?"
That's awesome. So
yeah,
the power of Facebook, right? So.
All right, man.
I would like to say that I sent him a very convincing message to come on our show, but he was actually just such a cool guy. I think he just figured, all right, yeah, heck, why not?
Oh, he's cool as a cucumber, isn't he?
Yeah, he is. I hope I get to meet up with him in a couple of weeks when I head down that way. So
yeah, I want to play pool and see what he had. Let him shoot the crap while we're playing pool.
Yeah, heck yeah. So all right, man, let's go do some dinner.
All right, bye, folks. See you Monday. Go ahead, Brian. You want to say anything? Did I see you Monday?
Yeah, I guess I'll see you Monday.